Good morning, today's Friday the 15th of December and Vlogmas is hitting the road today. You'll see why very shortly. And for the occasion I've donned the Star Wars Christmas t-shirt once again. Today I'm at Cineworld at Resorts World in Birmingham to watch Star Wars The Last Jedi. And as I didn't want to film within the theatre, I've just taken pictures, as you can see scrolling through now. I watched the film in IMAX 3D, and this is the first time I've been in the IMAX at this cinema, and it was absolutely brilliant. The screen was 4K, crisp and clear. I'm sure the sound was Atmos, the seats were great, and it was a fantastic venue to watch The Last Jedi. And now I'm going to give you the film review. Hello everyone, now I'm back. Let's just roll the official credits. Okay, as you've already seen, today I've been out to see Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'd hoped to get some really cool merchandise to show you, or perhaps have even one piece to give away on the channel little competition. But unfortunately, when I got to the cinema and I asked, I was told there is no merch with this film. Crazy, I know, but I don't know why. The people who owned the cinema manager, he didn't know why. He says basically Disney just hadn't produced any, which is very odd considering they're pushing all the toys and the bits and pieces. Anyhow, straight on with the film review. Now this is going to be a spoilers film review, so it's going to be pretty hard to give you a review of the film without giving you any details. But the first question I'm going to answer: does the film meet the expectations I was hoping for, and is it any good? Plainly and simply, is an absolutely, overwhelmingly yes. It met all my expectations. It went beyond that. And was it good? It was a damn good film. It was action from pretty much start to mid-film. And it's only from the startish of the film to the middle that pace slowed down a little bit and we went more in depth, but it absolutely, yes, was it a good film. So The Last Jedi has absolutely gone and above and beyond The Force Awakens, in my opinion. I actually liked The Force Awakens. I thought it was a very good film. It was a reboot, but it was bringing the newer fans up to speed to where we're at. The Last Jedi takes that and completely, it builds on top of it. My opinion, The Last Jedi is a far better film in many respects than The Force Awakens. It also encompasses a lot of old and new. There are a lot of old characters that are brought back into the film, and obviously we got the mix of our new characters. There's not an overwhelming amount of new people in this Last Jedi, the new film, but we do see revisits from very old characters that we didn't see in The Force Awakens. The film's very much got a feel of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in the film. It's not a carbon copy, but there's certainly elements of both of those films in this film. The Last Jedi really gets down and dirty and deep into the nitty-gritty of the real human elements of the war between the First Order and the Rebellion. It really shows you the human life factor and the losses that are coming from both sides. And it does bring into question, this isn't something that can continue going on. There's got to be other routes than the continual fighting and destruction. And that's emphasised quite a lot in the film. This film really uses a lot of metaphors. It really pushes hard hitting issues and real life scenarios of war and violence, but it does it in such a way that it's cleverly disguised at times so that a younger audience aren't going to be really smacked in the face by it. It's there, but I'd say more of an adult audience are going to pick up on that than a younger audience. Another question I always like to ask in a film review, were there any negatives? And to be honest, as a whole, The Last Jedi has two negatives I can really think of. There was one scene that I thought was a little weak. I can't actually really give you any more information than that, but something happens, and it wasn't a shock to me because I accidentally found out one spoiler, but I didn't know how this scene or action was going to take place. But when it did, I felt slightly cheated because the power this person has, whenever the thing that happened, it was a bit instant, and I was like, yeah, I don't think it would have happened like that. It was a little bit of a weak scene. My only other gripe with the film is that it really is on too long. There are times, from the start of the film, it's flowing, it's moving, it's got a pace, it's current, it's drew you in. There's not a time that you're really thinking about it. And then when we move away, when Rey meets back with Luke and other issues, things have to be explained. But there's some points in the film where it could have been shorter, they could have passed over things more quickly. Towards the end of the film, I did actually need the loo, and I wish I'd gone beforehand because it had been that long and I drunk such a big drink that I was thinking, oh my God, is this thing ever going to finish? And that's the only minor point, really. It's not something to moan about. This is a fantastic film from start to finish. It could have been slightly shorter, and the 1 week scene that I think they could have redone, they could have handled it a little better than they did. Other than that, I give this absolutely positives all the way through, and it really does leave the third film somewhat open, you could say, to go off in other directions. With the third film, I think Disney really has to take the franchise in another direction now. If they play on some of the characters that are still left over and do it with another, theme and style that they've just done in this film, I think it'd take away some of the shine and some of the gloss and some of the empowerment that the current film has built up to. So here's hoping that the final instalment of this sequel trilogy we get something new. We need new characters and a new direction to take us into the unknown. When I was leaving the cinema, it was quite interesting to hear some other people talking about their views on the film. And quite a few times I heard from a couple of people around me that they enjoyed it, but they didn't think it was as good as Rogue One. Now, I found that interesting because Rogue One was filmed in a different style, and although it was the Star Wars universe, it didn't have the Star Wars DNA of all the previous Star Wars films. And I thought that The Last Jedi absolutely had the Star Wars DNA. This was done in the style of the Star Wars films, but it also showed a more human element, a more human side, and a darker side, as I mentioned earlier, with the loss of life, the long war, the fight, that this can't go on like this because of the human atrocities that we were seeing. Although it had a lot of similarities between Rogue One and The Last Jedi in this film, I found it interesting that some of the comments where they didn't think it was as good as Rogue One. That was different. So, if there's anything you want to ask about the film, if there's any questions, or you want to debate about the film, have you seen the film, what do you think of it, just please leave it in the comments below. So this has been Vlogmas for Friday the 15th of December 2017, and it's been a cracking day, but it's been a long day. So I'm signing off for today, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.